We now have Jan Vleugel from Denmark with us on Skype, and we will ask him to give us an overview of the labor market in Denmark, give us tips and advice, and tell us about the living conditions. But Jan, I know that you are actually from the Netherlands from the beginning. How did you end up in Denmark?
Well, that's a very short story, in fact. Once I was on a bicycle tour in Denmark, and I met a pretty girl, and we began to write letters, and in the end we thought it was a good idea. Well, I moved to Denmark.
Wow. And would you recommend Denmark to other Dutch job seekers?
Oh yes, I would. It's a lovely country with a lot of space, pretty landscape, nice cities, blue skies, and water everywhere because there are many bigger and smaller islands here. It's a lovely place to be and to work.
So now, when it comes to the labor market, how would you describe it when it comes to available vacancies?
Well, we have at the moment in total about between 10 and 11,000 vacancies, but what we need especially is qualified people, and that's especially engineering, information technology, and there are also some good vacancies in the healthcare area.
This sounds like all like very high specialized people. Are there any jobs for someone with not that much education?
Well, those jobs, they are there, but because we also have an employment rate in Denmark, it's quite difficult to get these jobs because it also depends on the language you speak.
And what are their working conditions? So what's the average salary level, for example, compared to the Dutch salaries?
I think the average salary level in Denmark is a bit higher than in Denmark, but you also have to count that taxes and cost of living also are a bit higher than in the Netherlands. So I think, well, if you look in general, I think things are almost the same, but tax and cost of living and the average wages, well, that goes together.
And how is the Danes good on work-life balance?
In Denmark, it's quite a good work-life balance. Normal working hours is 37 hours a week, which means there is a good space for family life after work.
Have you advised and placed employees from the Netherlands before?
Not directly, but on the other hand, I have spoken to quite a lot of job seekers from the Netherlands who are interested in working in Denmark, and who need information about, the Danish society, the Danish system. So there have been quite a number of questions, yes.
And what kind of questions do people ask normally?
People normally ask, where are the job openings in Denmark? How can I get with my qualifications, with my experience from the Netherlands or everywhere else? How can I fit into the Danish labor market? What about social security system? What about housing? What about schools for the children? That's the typical questions we get.
Are there any specific regions in Denmark where jobs are more plenty than in other parts?
We would say there are some clusters of jobs in Denmark. Of course, in the main capital area, Copenhagen, there are quite a number of companies, institutions, and that means quite a number of jobs. The middle part, eastern part of Jutland, we call it the triangle area because there are three cities clustering near motorways and railways. They also have a number of companies, a number of jobs, and the Aarhus region, a bit higher up in Jutland.
Okay, for the, now this job day, Nordic Working, what kind of vacancies did you bring with from Denmark?
Well, the vacancies we have in Denmark, I didn't bring specific vacancies, but all the vacancies in Denmark can be seen on our website, workindenmark.dk. And that's a very good place to start because you get an impression of what kind of jobs, what qualifications are needed, but also a lot of practical information are available on the website.
And can you tell us about the housing and living conditions in Denmark?
Housing and living conditions in Denmark are quite good. There are quite good houses to get, good houses to buy, but also to rent, apartments to rent. And many employers, they know it's very important that people from abroad, they get the help they need. And those employers, they will always help people with housing.
Okay, so it's your experience that once you get hired, you can expect some help from the employer to find a place to live.
Yes, certainly.
And how about schooling and healthcare?
The schooling system, educational system in Denmark is quite good. I think it's comparable to the Netherlands. So normally people do not have lots of difficulties in getting their children from a Dutch school into a Danish school. The healthcare area is quite good organized, quite well organized in Denmark. General practitioners, hospitals, and well, it's functioning quite well.
It sounds a lot like Denmark is very similar to the Netherlands. Are there any important differences that to be aware of?
Well, at first, I think there are not so many differences, but perhaps the Danes are a bit, well, we have to see who's coming in, oh, those people, who are they? But once they get to know you, well, they're quite open for you, and well, you're one of them. Oh. And especially if you do a bit more effort in learning the Danish language. The Danes, they know they have a very difficult language, and even if you try to speak it, they know they think it's wonderful, and you are accepted more than 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask about the language. Is it necessary to speak Danish before you even try to look for a job, or how can you get along if you're not fluent?
For most jobs, especially highly qualified vacancies, they are in bigger companies where you can speak English. But on the other hand, you have to cope in daily life, you have to cope in the Danish language. So that's why the municipalities, they have quite good language courses. And some companies also help you with the Danish language courses.
Okay, is there any key piece of advice that you would like to give to a potential mobile worker?
Well, the main advice would be go and look on our website, workindenmark.dk. There are all the vacancies you need. You get an impression of what kind of jobs we have in Denmark, where we need you people from the Netherlands and all the other countries. And apart from that, there's a lot of practical information. And there's a welcome package where you can see how the Danish society functions. And apart from that, we have, in the Work in Denmark system, we have there is help to get with all the paperwork, with your residence permit, with your health card for the municipality, and also with the tax card.
Very well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mange tak.